When we think about what's really tripping moms up around breastfeeding, it's often the experience of breastfeeding, right? In our country where women are going back to work in 10 days, in our country where we don't have any federal paid leave, in our country where we know the breast has been hypersexualized so women are uncomfortable to breastfeed in public, right? We know that it's not the latch that's necessarily tripping people up, which can be resolved. It's the experience, right? And being able to survive in that experience over time. And that experience now includes the influence of all these other factors that weren't necessarily so present previously. So we have to recognize that. We're one of the few countries in the world that does not have, as part of our standardized system, that somebody is coming to your home to check on you after you have a baby. That is standard care. But we know that doesn't exist here. So mothers, what we also know, mothers are increasingly isolated from their social support networks and their families. Economics has made many of us have to move away from our families, our moms, et cetera, et cetera. So we're disconnected from our traditional support circles and those who used to teach us how to do those things. And we're kind of in this environment where mothers don't want to really ask for help, and there's a whole lot of things going on. And so we have to recognize that this is one of the systemic gaps that they really prey on to make mothers more afraid. Lack of support. They attack babies from the hospitals, and most recently, they have begun to attack racial disparities, which should have all of us up in arms, right? Because those gains we must protect. So what do we know as part of what they do? Mothers are being primed with anti-breastfeeding support messaging. So what they do, they create this language that activists are going to pressure you, they're going to be aggressive in the hospital. So what happens to mothers when they go to the hospital? Because they've been told that the lactation consultant is aggressive, they've been primed with that message. So really, often anything that happens for them happens in that framework already. You get that? Because they've already been told that they're crazy, they're going to be pushy, and so they're already on guard and seeing what you may perceive as a very simple question, a very simple follow-up that may be strictly your protocol to ask a follow-up question, but when you've been primed, you receive that message very differently. This is what's happening. This is a form of repression. Disinformation and misinformation is a form of oppression, and we can't ignore that. Tugging on your heartstrings, right? And here's the thing about breastfeeding that's so amazing. Because breastfeeding is so difficult, when someone is able to do it for any meaningful time, don't they feel great? Yes. Right. And the reason why you feel so great is because it's not easy. Just like when you overcome any obstacle, going through college, moving out on your own, relationships, you name it. Like, we feel good around the challenge. And so we have to talk about the challenge. Like, we've been afraid to say breastfeeding is hard, breastfeeding is challenging. But we don't really show people that that is the truth, but this is how this mother got through it, right? And that emotion of showing people they have overcome their challenges and they feel so good about themselves because it wasn't easy, because they had to fight, because they had to stand up to grandma, that makes people feel good about themselves. Trust me, tell that story.